The theater was already buzzing, lights glowing softly, judges chatting, audience settling in, when something unusual happened at the very end of the lineup. Just as people thought the night was winding down, a quiet figure walked onto the stage, wearing a simple black clerical shirt, a small silver cross resting on his chest. He looked young, almost too young for the title he carried, and when the host announced, "He's a 22-year-old priest from the Philippines," a ripple of surprise passed through the room. No dramatic entrance, no flashy outfit, just calm footsteps and a gentle smile. In that moment, viewers at home leaned closer to their screens without even realizing it, sensing that something unexpected was about to unfold. And before the first note was even sung, the silence itself pulled everyone in. Before we go deeper into what happened that night, take a second to like this video if you believe music has the power to heal, and subscribe to the channel for more stories that touch the soul. It helps us bring you moments like this, moments that remind us why talent shows are more than just competitions. His name was Father Miguel Santos, born and raised in a small coastal town in the Philippines where life was simple, faith was strong, and music floated through the air as naturally as the sea breeze. As a child, Miguel didn't dream of stages or spotlights. He dreamed of helping people. His mother was a church choir singer, his father a fisherman who hummed old love songs while mending nets. Music was always around him, but it was never the goal. When Miguel was just 13, his father passed away suddenly, leaving a silence in their home that no words could fill. It was during evening prayers at the church, listening to hymns echo through the empty hall, that Miguel first felt music wrap around his grief and make it bearable. Singing became his private way of talking to God when words felt too small. Years later, when Miguel chose the priesthood at such a young age, many people questioned him. Some said he was giving up too much too soon. Others thought his life would be too quiet, too limited. But Miguel believed that service was not about giving things up, it was about giving yourself fully. He studied theology by day, helped in shelters by night, and sang during masses without ever imagining that his voice could reach beyond the church walls. Yet, people who heard him sing often stopped, tears in their eyes, telling him that his voice felt like comfort, like forgiveness, like hope. Those words planted a seed he didn't fully understand at the time. The idea of auditioning for America's Got Talent came from a group of young parishioners who watched the show together after Sunday Mass. They joked about it at first, but then they grew serious. "Father," one of them said, "your voice deserves to be heard by the world." Miguel resisted. He didn't want fame. He didn't want applause. He worried that stepping onto such a stage might distract from his calling. But after weeks of prayer and reflection, he realized that sharing a gift could also be a form of service. If even one person felt less alone because of his song, then the journey would be worth it. Standing on that massive AGT stage, Miguel introduced himself simply. He spoke about his hometown, his faith, and his belief that music could bring people closer to hope. Simon Cowell raised an eyebrow, curious but reserved. Howie leaned forward, intrigued. Sophia smiled gently, and Heidi listened with open warmth. When Miguel explained that he wanted to sing for anyone who had ever felt lost, the room grew quiet again. The first note he sang was soft, almost fragile, but it carried an emotion that filled the theater instantly. It wasn't just a song, it was a prayer wrapped in melody. His voice rose and fell with aching honesty, telling a story of loss, faith, and redemption. As he sang, memories flooded back to him, his father's laughter, his mother's tears, the lonely nights when he questioned everything. The audience felt it too. People who had never stepped inside a church suddenly felt something stirred deep within them. Cameras caught tears streaming down faces, hands pressed to mouths, hearts breaking open in the best possible way. Halfway through the song, Miguel closed his eyes, as if singing only to God. The judges forgot their pens. Simon's expression softened, his usual skepticism melting into something raw and unguarded. By the final note, the entire theater was on its feet, applause crashing like waves. Miguel stood there, stunned, tears slipping down his own face, hands shaking as he whispered a quiet thank you. Simon was the first to speak, his voice unusually gentle. He admitted that he hadn't expected this at all, that he came in with doubts, but what he heard was pure truth. Sophia wiped her eyes and said that the performance made her think about her family and her own faith. Howie talked about how rare it is to hear someone sing without ego, without trying to impress, just trying to connect. Heidi simply said that the world needs more moments like this. When Simon reached for the golden buzzer, the audience gasped. As the golden confetti rained down, Miguel dropped to his knees, overwhelmed, not by success, but by gratitude. He later said that in that moment, he felt his father's presence more strongly than ever, as if all the broken pieces of his life had come together in one song. The story didn't end there. Miguel returned to his hometown between rounds, continuing his work at the church, reminding himself of who he was beyond the stage. Each performance that followed carried the same sincerity, the same depth, reminding viewers that true talent is not just about skill, but about soul. Millions watched, commented, shared, and found comfort in his journey. Messages poured in from people around the world saying his songs helped them through grief, depression, and doubt. By the time Miguel's AGT journey reached its end, win or lose no longer mattered. He had already won something far greater. He had shown that faith and art can walk hand in hand, that humility can shine brighter than ego, and that a single voice, when guided by purpose, can bring an entire world to tears. So if this story moved you even a little, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Stories like Father Miguel's remind us that miracles don't always come with thunder. Sometimes, they come quietly, in the form of a song, sung from the heart.